Today I'm going to talk about sacred no's and sacred yeses. Your sacred no and your sacred yes, my sacred no and my sacred yes. Sacred because they come from soul and God. Just taking a moment to listen to the birds. What inspired this video is yesterday I made a video about freedom, commitment, devotion. And I talked about saying no to the temptations that certain old habits, patterns of behavior, wounds within your being are going to try to challenge your choices with. When you decide that you want to change, when you decide that you want to make a choice to bring something new into your life, a new habit, a new pattern. Your old self, your old habits are going to come and tempt you to test how committed you are to your choice. And today, right now, I'm facing that exact example. I had another long day of work, planting raspberries, which was glorious, weeding, pulling grass, and work that, after the end of a work week, leaves my body and my soul feeling fairly tired. I hope the banging noise in the back is not too disturbing. And today was one of those long days of work where I felt inside of my body the old habituation rooted in my childhood, like, oh, I'm tired. I'm gonna go back home and I'm gonna watch a few YouTube videos about Hyperborea, about self-improvement, about spirituality. That was about 15, 20 minutes ago. And I felt it within me, and I choose to say, no, we're not doing that. I literally just talked about it yesterday. I'm not about to go and be a hypocrite. And I'm not about to break my commitment to my own self. So there's a sacred no, chosen by my free will, which I have spoken and embodied into being. And now that leaves me the rest of the day, the rest of that time that I would have wasted. It probably would have been, I would have learned something useful. Now I have to say yes to something. Now I choose to say yes to something. And I was wondering, okay, how do I fill the rest of my time? I've got like an hour or two of daylight. And the first thing that came to heart was to make this video. The second thing, maybe I'll go walk in the woods afterwards. And what this video is a choice saying no to mindless consumption. So my sacred no is to mindless consumption. And the sacred yes. Oh my God. The bird. The sacred yes is to conscious creation. And that is one of the things that you can replace mindless, numbing scrolling or any time waster you have in your life. Replace that with creation of some kind. Now, sometimes for me it's writing. Pretty rarely it's drawing. But sometimes it happens. And then making YouTube videos. Sometimes I sing, make music. Those are all sources of creativity, which transmute consumption into creation, which is the alchemical work. So that's one option, and then there's the other option to literally just do nothing. Like your body, my body today was feeling tired from working all day. And some part of me was like, oh, let's go like stare at a screen for probably a few hours. That is the opposite of rest. That is just more stimulation. That is light, synthetic light going into my eyes, convincing my body as the sun is setting that the day is still alive. When really what my body wants is just to sit. Breathe. Listen. Rest. Relax. Actual rest. Actual relaxation. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that if you're watching this video, you would greatly benefit from taking a moment sometimes, here and there, to just do nothing. To not feel like you have to hurry on to this next thing, to not feel like you have to stimulate yourself, not feel like you have to distract yourself. And simply be with whatever it is you're feeling right now. And what I feel right now, even though I'm kind of not doing nothing, but I'm doing nothing at the same time, is that this exhaustion, this tiredness that I feel in my body is like rewarding. It feels good. It feels like I accomplished something. And my body feels like 1,000 flowers in bloom. Just like all of my cells recharging, just content. Like, we did it. We were out with our hands in the soil. My hands are still dirty. Oh my God, I was in it. So much soil moving through my hands today, connecting to the earth, talking to the raspberries, praying abundance prayers into them, kissing them, loving Mother Earth. And that's what wants to be felt and honored in this present moment. So why would I want to numb that out? By going and distracting myself with a synthetic screen. So I'm grateful that I chose creation instead. because I brought this out of me. One more parenthesis, and then I'll pass on to the next thing. You could create, you could do, wait. I'm not on to the next thing yet. As my hands were in the soil, and as I am reflecting back on the embodiment that has brought into my being, I just saw like the tiniest little fly just now. And then when I was in the soil, I saw the tiniest little bugs. And I had such deep reverence for these little creatures of God, just like going about the world. They're just like, must do my task. I was given a task by God, and I'm serving my Creator. And I am consuming the soil. So happy. I am. Like, just these beautiful little creatures. And I saw a worm that like got out of the soil, and it was just like, oh my God, I must dig. I am here to dig. And it just like dug his head into the earth and just got in there. And I stared at it for a good 30 seconds in awe and in a state of ecstasy and bliss. This is the benefit of presence, of reconnecting to the earth, of connecting to your body, and of doing things that are connected with the earth and the divinity which breathes the earth into being, which is God. So, close parenthesis. Let me know if you guys like the parentheses, or if we can do without them. I'll probably keep them anyway. You could create, you could do nothing. What's another thing you could do? Go for a walk. Preferably in the woods. Preferably in some beautiful nature to which you have access. And just listen and observe and breathe and feel and allow yourself to be. And all these things, like, it's nice if you can just kind of put your phone away. Let it do its thing for a while. You can always return to it, and you will, probably. Those are some things. Maybe cooking, maybe praying, maybe building a fire. Anything that can reconnect you to presence and to yourself and to your heart. And that is not here simply to distract you, but to nourish you. And to allow yourself to feel the fact that you're alive. And how beautiful that can be. Now, of course, it's not always going to be beautiful and butterflies and rainbows, although they're always there. So maybe you're feeling, after a long day's work, I don't know how many of you guys work a 9 to 5 who watch these videos. Maybe that has a toll on your soul. And at the end of a long work week, or whatever thing akin to to that condition you might experience in your personal life. Maybe you feel down, maybe you feel depressed, maybe you feel drained, maybe you feel like sad. And you feel the kind of bone deep exhaustion that comes with living in a society like ours, that often feels specifically targeted to capture, contain, confine, constrict, might I even say enslave the soulful substance of our being, which cannot actually be enslaved. Never. For the essence of soul is freedom. But sometimes we convince ourselves that someone else is our master. So where was I getting with that? If you're feeling down, you're feeling those lower, more dense feelings, if you're feeling sad, depressed, that is also a great time to do a little bit of nothing, but just allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. Like really dive into the feeling somehow. Now, there's two sides to this. You can do nothing and just sit with it and let it feel itself through you. And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's like a super useful thing, maybe it's not. And then another thing you might do is like focus your intention upon the feeling. Where is it coming from in your body? So I was going to give an example, but I'm not. Just trace it. Like, is there some particular bodily sensation, like some tension in your back, some tension in your leg, I don't know, some shoulder tension, maybe even a weight within your heart? And trace it and see if you can allow yourself to turn up the feeling. Like if there was a volume knob, like just slowly turn it up a little bit and allow yourself to feel it just a little bit more. What is this? What's happening here? What is my body trying to communicate to me? A sweet little bird has joined us and gone away. See if you can amplify the feeling. And if it's a painful feeling, if it's a frightening feeling, if it's a horrible feeling, first off, know that you are safe and protected by God and your soul always. So affirm that. And then go there. That's one side. You can trace it somatically. You might journal about it and ask your body, what is this sensation? What is this feeling? And try to allow the emotions to speak. Allow them to flow. Because a lot of people say emotions are energy and motion. If your emotions are all locked up, then all that energy is going to be pent up and it's going to cause the tensions within your body, which you're now feeling into. So if you go and allow yourself to feel them, maybe write about them, maybe move about them, then you're allowing the energy to be in motion and for emotion to flow. And that means your heart is alive. My water is way over there, holding up the phone, so I can't drink it right now. Close that sigh. And specifically, when the feelings are fearful and frightening and horrible, you want to go there and you want to release that part. Because if you don't, then it's just going to stay and it's going to cling to you, and you're going to have this horrible feeling inside of you that just stays there. Ooh. Whereas you can alchemize it by feeling it. Here's what I'll say. Once again, I don't know how many of you work a 9 to 5. You let me know. But if you do, or something like it, and it drives you insane, I've been there. And like, you just feel like this animal in a cage, like you can't breathe, like you're suffocating, like you are just meant for so much more, and you feel like you're not able to do it. Like, feel all of that. And if there's like some crazy cathartic expression that needs to express itself, express it. Let it out. Release it. Speak it. Feel it. Feel. 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 And if the feelings are phenomenal, and if the feelings are blissful and they're joyous, like this sweet little flower, whatever the feeling is, allow yourself to feel it. Don't just go and numb yourself with a screen, or alcohol, or anything else. Food is a big one. Numbing yourself with food is not the best of ideas. Where was I going with this? Feel. Because on the other side of feeling and within the feeling itself, there is freedom. And there is presence. And there is God speaking to you. And there's love. When you allow yourself to feel your feelings somatically, consciously, presently, that is an act of love. And if you dig deeply enough into the feeling, you might begin to feel the love that is present within it, that is holding you in it, that is loving you from the depths of your heart. So, I don't know how how this video became about all that. But I do know, because it came from a sacred no. A sacred no to the old patterns of numbing myself and of self-destruction and of self-negation, distraction, avoidance. And I didn't fully know what I was saying a sacred yes to. I just felt like creating, speaking, doing nothing, and being. And the thing is, you not only get to, but you have to decide. Where is your sacred no? And where is your sacred yes? What will you say no to? And what will you say yes to? And hopefully you know what you want to say no to. And hopefully you know that you have the free, conscious, sovereign ability to say no to that thing. You have that power, God-given. And then maybe you know what you want to say your sacred yes to. And maybe it's different than any of my suggestions. Maybe it's something else entirely. I'd be curious, if you've gotten this far in the video, I'd love to hear what your sacred no and your sacred yes are. And what I can tell you is that there is magic, divinity, and freedom in the sacred yes. And there's discovery. And there's love. And my sacred yes today, to this video, which you are now watching, allowed me to discover that. Instead of entering a rabbit hole about Hyperborea. I don't know why I'm so about Hyperborea these days. I'll say one more thing. If I had decided, or if I were to now decide, I'm not going to go and watch some YouTube videos about Hyperborea, how consciously could I do it? How presently could I do it? As opposed to doing it out of this pattern to numb myself, to relax after a long day. Like, okay, I've heard within this video that apparently there's something I need to know about Hyperborea. So maybe I can go find that out, watch a video about it, and then go on and do something else. You don't have to, well, sometimes it's good to be ironclad with your sacred no's, but the place from which you're operating is just as important as the thing that you're doing. In fact, probably more important. How present are you? How aware? How conscious? How deeply are you? The flower blesses you. I bless you. I thank you for being here. And may your sacred no's and your sacred yeses guide you deeper into your heart. Yeah.